Hello, and welcome to the Technical Difficulties Podcast, Episode 4. We faced severe rain on this shoot, which pretty much led the first hour of the podcast to be inaudible. So I'd like to take just this quick second to introduce our guest today. His name is Deividy, and he was born in Brazil, where he lived till he was 23. He moved to New Zealand for 3 years, where he learned English, and then made his way to Australia, where he spent the last 4 years training to be an actor in search of purpose in his life. So I'd just like to extend a warm welcome out to Devity, and yeah, let's get this thing started.
Fine. But someone comes running through the door and goes like, "You won't believe what just happened. There was a car crash," and you go,
That
deep
rush,
inside,
you'll just have that rise.
you have
feel
that rise.
Yeah.
And one of the things the back of all of our minds is, has anyone got hurt?
Yeah. Did
Because if
anyone
you see
die?
a little kid died, you go, "Oh my God, that's your dose of information, your dose of hormone stress is right there." Oh, it's almost
Kind
like
of that thing to
thank-
worry about,
Yeah.
like talk about,
Yeah.
and like, tell the next person you
It
see
is.
and be like, "Oh, yeah, it's weird." Human beings. Are
and
weird.
and that yeah, but you can make a choice. That's the key thing. You can make a choice.
Yeah.
You can make a choice. I
Yeah.
chose happiness is a choice
Mhm.
that you gotta make for
Yes.
yourself.
Yeah, it's crazy how easily you can just hook on to like just negative energy almost. It feels like it's almost easier to hook on to negative energy than positive energy. It seems like
Positive-
positive energy you got to work for.
Yeah.
Negative energy is right there. You can just like
And Dr. Joe Dispenza says people would rather feel sad than feel nothing. I said, really? And I felt bad for myself because that's true. It's
Yeah,
you know
most people can't like sit in their own feelings for more than like 5 minutes without. I mean, that's me. I'm speaking from experience.
well,
you
I know
like,
because I used to, I was in the same boat.
Oh, yeah.
So my word of advice is number one, first thing for anything in your life, and for anything positive, you need to believe. Start believing in possibility. Everything's possible.
Mm.
Okay.
It's like I believe that. I do believe that, but because of split brain, there's that side of me that's just so like
so used to have that behavior, that the same old behavior.
Yeah.
Our body become, like I said, Dr. Joe Dispenza will explain that, but our bodies becomes literally addicted to the hormone of stress. Okay, so and I found that in myself a while ago. For many years, maybe more than a decade. You know, I don't remember my life looking back. Like, no, that period of time I was happy, I was fine. I remember my teenagehood, had no problems, right? But as we become adults, you know, we go through so many life experiences, and then life experiences, and then you start traumas, psychological traumas, through your family, through your new relationships, because you become, you know, start having relationships, and broken heart kind of thing, you know, and then now you get to taste sadness. And like the Dr. Joe Dispenza says, it's better to feel something, sadness, than nothing. Unfortunately, we are like that because that's a heightened state of emotion,
yeah.
emotional state. So, but the question is, what do you want to feel? Because I don't want to feel that anymore. I don't want to feel. Wake up sad. You know, wake up, and when the brain does the download of, you know, all your programs. What do you have?
Yeah.
You have I know I do that, like you said. You have your habits. I've seen myself every single day. I still do it. Where does my first thoughts go? Into my problems. It causes me anxiety. But what I've been doing, number one possibility, I don't want to be like that anymore. And what can I do to change? Because it is for me. And then with those two questions, you will observe that things have turned. Instead of how can I fix that out there, is how can I fix this in here?
Yeah.
That is the key question that everyone under the sun should be asking.
Yeah.
Ask, how can I change for good?
I know.
For my
like,
own good.
I've noticed within myself those times that I have, you know, shifted within to, you know, deal with, you know, the
Yeah.
outside. It's actually easier in the end to deal with the within and better yourself than it is to try and change everything else around you that you can't actually do anything about.
Yeah, I totally understand
But
that.
then you know, human brain, you
But it's
forget that
almost
some
addictive
days.
trying
and-
to change those other things around
Yeah,
you. instead of
my
yourself.
brain is like
Yeah,
addicted
because-
to helping. Like it's just like
Okay, what you're gonna measure is, I think the secret for life, for the whole life of any human being, is something called balance. Balance.
What
It's
is
just a
that?
balance. Hey?
I said, what is that?
Yeah, it's very hard for all of us.
Yeah.
But the truth is, too much of anything or not enough will be bad.
Mhm.
Won't be good enough. I was with a while ago. I think it was around 3 years ago. I broke up a relationship. I couldn't handle it anymore the way it was going. And I think I mentioned a little bit about it to you through the messages. We had some amazing voice messages at one time. We were exchanging like huge messages.
No, they're good chats.
It was-
It feels
yeah.
like this, but just over.
Yeah, the only problem is you gotta wait for it to come.
Yeah.
She's
yeah.
talking.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's like the Snapchat train with me. I'll wake up and I got like 15 Snapchats from you, and I'm like, okay, well I gotta wait an hour for all of these to load now.
Like
Like,
you,
Yeah.
I talk a lot.
I can talk. I had a boss who said, "Man, you can talk underwater with your mouth full of marbles." That's a new one. I like it.
it's a good quality to have. I mean, damn.
I think you gotta. Again, I'm gonna tell this story because I think this is the vital thing, and I've been telling everyone I can. I broke up the relationship. Wasn't going the way it was good enough for me, and for me, my point of view is in a relationship. There's so much you can take. All right. At some point, you gotta let go. If letting go brings you peace, you're doing the right thing. Okay. So I had to do that. And I'm not blaming her for everything. Okay. I'm just saying what the situation I've been through. I made my mistakes for sure. But the thing is, I got us in touch with my cousin. She's a psychologist, and I mentioned a couple of things to her. She said, "I'm gonna get you my friend because she cannot treat me. Family cannot, friends they can't treat. Psychologists cannot treat any patients as a too close relationship." And she said, "I got a friend, and she's an amazing psychologist, and I'm gonna get her to see if she can give you a hand." I said, "Okay, I need help." I was extremely sad. Although I broke up, I was extremely sad. And that anguish inside and the bitterness in the heart. And when I started the sessions of psychology as a patient, and I'm still doing it. It's been almost 3 years.
Oh, true.
But here's a key thing. When I started, I was bitter, sad, slightly. I was going to say hopeless, but not hopeless, because I did had a tiny bit of hope, and my focus was to understand what happened to her. Why did she do those things? Why did she act that way? Why? I wanted answers. I went to the psychologist to ask to find out some sort of answers from her.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
That's impossible. The psychologist may suggest a few options.
Like possibilities.
Possibility,
Yeah.
that's it. But then here is the key thing. I started doing research on a side with Dr. Joe Spencer, with anyone else who could give me information about ourselves. And very quickly from the beginning of my therapy, I started shifting from the outside, her, which was her, to the inside. There was no answer in this world that would make me feel any better.
Yeah.
Part of the reasons why I broke up was she didn't give me verbal answers for anything that I wanted, and even if she did, I lost trust.
Yeah.
A few things that happened, I lost trust. Didn't matter what she said, I wouldn't believe it anyway. So, and even if I got the chance to have all my answers and things were not the way I was thinking, I didn't want to go back to that relationship anyway.
Yeah.
It was painful. I missed her.
Mm.
Sometimes I still miss her. But I'm able now, because of the other part of my treatment with myself, I'm able now to understand that's a common feeling.
Mm.
It's normal to come because I had 3 years relationship living under the same roof.
Mm.
So obviously you develop several kinds of attachments, physical, emotional, and others. I accept and I let it go. You know I don't fall into a hole. Oh my God, again because I miss her. No, it's a natural feeling, and tomorrow I won't be feeling it probably.
Mm.
Okay, but the main key thing was exactly to shift from the answers for the solutions from the outside
Yeah.
to the inside.
Mm.
I started asking, not how could she be or do whatever. No,
Yeah.
I started asking, how can David fix this pain? What do I have to do? What she has to do? What do I have to do to get rid of this feeling?
Mm.
That's bitter. That's pain inside of your heart. Then everything started changing. Then I wanted to take care of myself. Then I wanted to grow. I wanted to develop. I wanted to. The best investment you can ever do in your whole entire life, number one, is in yourself.
Mm.
Emotionally, physically, and then that will be the financial, materialistically.
Mm.
Okay? But Les Brown also says, if there is no enemy within, the enemy outside cannot kill you. I'm like, wow, man, I gotta fix that. So everything, the wise people,
Yeah.
they all push you to look back inside of yourself.
Mm.
My questions start being like, number one, why do I feel this? Number two, how do I get rid of it? Why do I react this way in this particular situation?
Yeah.
I found my insecurities. I found
Yeah.
I look at myself. I start digging into myself,
Mm.
and then the world outside disappeared.
I find it also.
Because
Yeah.
there's nothing else outside matters anymore because it's hurting in here.
Mm.
It's not hurting out there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good. No, I was just saying, like, once you, learn to understand yourself and your own mind and why you react a certain way to everything because of, childhood trauma or, just life experiences or whatever, you actually start to really be able to read other people too and see why they're reacting, And then it's just like,
That's so true.
the world it's like this veil unlifts on the world and you realize everyone's just
It feels
playing
like
this character.
yes, it feels like you kind of cracked the code on a recipe of a cake, for example.
Yeah.
Now you understand how it's made of. But
It's like a piece of a cake that you don't want. Like, you're just like, okay, avoid it.
Exactly. I've been doing a new research which is, okay, I know how the cake is made, this cake here, but I don't actually want the icing inside, how to get rid of it, which is already in there, so to speak. I learned that this is how we are, this is how we develop our personality. Every single thing that has deeply marked your life, especially through trauma, that's what's going to shape your personality. Okay,
Big time.
obviously. What happens is because you have this print from an emotion in a situation, now it goes to your subconscious mind.
Mm.
Now, a girl cheated on you, one of the first relationships you ever had, or a boy or whatever, and that becomes a trauma, right?
Mm.
What happens when you have a new relationship?
Yeah, you like blame that
Yeah.
person for
Every-
the past.
Everything that, however you perceive that, now you bring it
Yeah.
forwards.
Mm-hmm.
How you are insecure. Now you're insecure. Now when the person says, I'm just gonna go and see my friend, I go, who's that friend?
Yeah.
Mm.
Are you really going in there? Some people get so sick and they get so obsessed with it, they jump in the car and follow the other people.
Yeah.
Now my main question now is, okay, if I have those feelings, which I now understand them, I call them the programs, because becomes unconscious, becomes without you noticing it. You may not say a word, but she says, "Oh, I'm going to bed early." You go like, "Bling, bling, bling." You know, there's a light flashing there.
Mhm.
Oh, are you really going to bed?
Yeah.
And you are the one feeling it, not her.
Yeah.
Regardless of the reality,
Yeah.
you are the one annoyed. So my goal now is, how do I go back and change those programs?
Mhm.
I think that's the key question. The things that you don't feel good about, it comes from within yourself.
Yeah, yeah, because a lot of times in those situations, you would be the only one worried about it, and it's not even a thought on the other end. Like, it's
No,
a
it's
complete
not.
own stress, like,
The-
built from yourself. And it's like a
It's-
conflict within yourself. You're creating a scenario, and then, you know,
And you're
like,
Yeah.
feeding it.
exactly, yeah.
And the killer thing is the person could be literally simply going to bed. Or the person can actually go and have sex with someone else. You won't know the real truth unless if you go and check. But you're the one cooking your monsters in your head. You're
Mhm.
taking over. And
Yeah,
this is my
exactly.
key question today for myself is, how can I change those kind of fears? Because I'm obviously, like everyone else, I have my insecurities. But how do I change it? Because, you know, like I said, you are the only person, I'm pointing the finger to emphasize it,
Yeah.
suffering.
Yeah.
You're not suffering. Maybe
Uh-huh.
the guy went to bed.
You're
He's
torturing
sleeping.
yourself.
Yeah, you're poisoning yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Same thing when we
I do
break
that
up.
often.
Yeah, but it's natural. It's a normal thing.
Yeah.
But the key, like I said, the key thing is, and the best way to go is, well, you already identified it. You have that behavior, where it comes from, and how can I change? I'm on the stage where how can I change? You know, what do I want? If it gets too complicated for me, I'm jumping out of the boat.
Mm.
I also have an expression where I said, when I began the treatment with my psychologist, one of the issues I had was jealousy of the past. When I started dating, I had a girlfriend who told me far too much about her past experiences. And I learned the horrible way that I should not have gone into those matters. You know, those don't. It's something you should not know. You know, it's the person's past. It's not nothing to do with you. And I had that as a big issue,
Mm.
right? As soon as I started dating, I learned one thing. Because I didn't know how to deal with it, I come up to the girls and look, and sometimes I just say it. I'm not very much keen into the X subject. So you know, the less the better for me.
Yeah.
And I said to my psychologist, she asked me, why do you say that? Also, because I'm very simple. It's very similar to a diabetic person. You know, you can't have sugar, just avoid it. You know, it's not good for you, avoid it. So I think that's also a good procedure. You know what? It's not good for you. Why you approach it?
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, until you are able to deal
Don't
with
give
it,
yourself the
you're ready.
temptation.
No, don't. I know a lot of people when they break up, the first thing they're doing, they're checking the other person's Facebook.
Yeah, start stalking them.
Yeah. That's
Yep.
a bit wild.
My question for you: how do you feel if you see your ex with someone else? Feels horrible, right? Feels absolutely horrible. That's hell for someone who just broke up. Why are you looking for it?
Mhm.
Now you're going on the Facebook,
Oh,
and
gosh.
you saw a picture. You saw a picture of the person, your ex, hugging someone. There's no kisses.
I know for me, personally from experience, I dripped oil on myself, dang it. It's a self-sabotage thing as well. Big
And
time.
you know what? How can you get a hit of that drug, of the
Make
adrenaline?
yourself feel so bad.
There you go. I'm just gonna have a quick look.
And then, boom, day ruined.
Well, you
Well,
see.
it's like, boom, 2 hours later, you're in a
The,
mess.
the,
Like,
the worst
biologist.
thing is now that you can just get on those devices and stuff right from when you wake up. You just slide it out from under your pillow, and then you can be right onto it. At least you could
Yeah.
avoid it like a while ago, but now it's just
Yeah, a while
it's all
ago
in
it
your
was still
face.
attached
It's
to the
like
wall and everything. There was a cord, you couldn't take it away from the
And you
base.
couldn't
Like,
see it.
the cord would get knotted like crazy, so it'd shorten it like half the length of the
I feel like I
actual
can't
leg.
sit down for like like 5-10 minutes without just subconsciously checking my phone, even if there's nothing on it. Like it's like a ridiculous habit. Like
It is. I must confess, I'm addicted to the phone. It's horrible. I normally say, well, I got so much to do. I got to do this and this and that. Just have a look at this. You open the phone. You're gonna go to the. I'm gonna check the time. You open the phone. You go on Facebook or Instagram, but you don't know the time. That's bad. That's bad.
Exactly. Yeah, you go on to check a message or something, you
Yeah.
get distracted, and then you haven't responded to somebody for like an
Yes,
hour, and you're
yes.
like, oh no, like.
There's a guy. I think his name is, Senek. I forgot his first name. Mark Senek. He explains what the phone does to us and how the companies who produces these phones, they knew it. When you get a pling on your phone, that actually releases endorphins in your body. Believe it or not.
It's like a poking machine. Those beeping when you walk past, you hear the rattle, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, my coins. Can
It
just
stimulates. It stimulates. Yeah.
I know whenever I like
It's
hear a bling,
cancer.
it's kind of like, ooh.
Ding, ding, ding,
What is
ding.
it?
You hear,
Pling.
like the jackpot
Oh,
sound.
someone just
Ooh.
remembered me, don't you?
Yeah.
and he even says, it's funny. He says, if you don't feel good enough, all you gotta do is send hi to so many people, because then just wait, because people are gonna start replying back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, the fun.
But
The fun
I've
things
also
are good.
found out that scientists did the science behind it, obviously.
Mm.
But that whole, I think more particularly in female brains, but that whole swipe motion is actually like properly addicted. There's something about this or this,
Yes.
or just
Oh
something
yeah.
about this left to
That-
right
that's so
motion
true.
that's like actually
That's so true. Have you
does
ever?
something to the brain
It
that gets us
does.
hooked. It's
I-
biohacking. That's the word I was thinking of. It's some sort of like biohack thingy. I don't know. It gets into all of it, but yeah, your brains
Definitely.
get addicted.
I've noticed one thing. Go on your phone, and this is how addictive that is. Go on your phone. Go on your pictures. Don't go on Facebook or anything. See what you do. The first thing you do, check a picture. You either swipe to the sides to see the next one, or if you're gonna camera roll, you'll be like,
Mhm.
you just do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so. It is so addictive. It's
Uh-huh.
bad. It's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. But
It's-
hey, that's how they make money.
Yeah, it's a thing that it's like this technology could be used as such of a tool, like to actually help us progress, but then they fill it with all this junk to distract us from using it as a tool. They're just like,
Yeah.
here's the distraction, take it.
Let me guess one thing. You're extremely addicted to the phone as well, aren't you?
I mean, more than I would like. I wouldn't say extremely like a lot of
Okay.
people.
So my
but-
guess is, yeah, it's not accurate.
More than I like.
Which is good. I'd rather hear that. For me, I find myself running away from that. Thank God, lately my frustrations or anxieties, they're very low, but they're there. It's so much easier to see. I go on Facebook looking for whatever's funny or productive, you know, or even Instagram. I just recently got an Instagram account. Recently, I said now
So
Facebook.
you've got Instagram?
I got
Epic.
Instagram.
We'll be able to tag you in like all the
That's
socials and
fantastic.
that.
Yeah, that's
Yep, yep, yep.
fantastic.
Awesome.
People keep on telling me, and I said, no, man, I spend so much time on Facebook. I don't want another distraction, you
No,
know?
I hear you. Like
That-
I will go Instagram over Facebook, whereas he's the opposite. He'll
Well-
go Facebook over Instagram.
Well, it's not
as
so
my
much
choice
that
of social media.
I had
Yeah.
the same kind of excuse where it was like not as much. I think one's better than the other, but more just I was already on one and didn't
Yeah.
want to be on every
Another
social
one.
media platform. It's just too much, you know what I
That's
mean?
too much. You end up,
Another one.
yeah, I don't like the idea, which without noticing it, I am already addicted, I must admit, because of the time I spent on it. I watch TV. When I turn on the TV, I'm on a phone.
On his phone.
Mm.
You know, it's unbelievable. That's sick.
There'll be
That's not-
times where it's just, I don't know if this is just ignorant bliss, because I am very aware of just the irony of
Yeah.
the moment when I'm in the moment, but the amount of times I'll be at home for dinner time and my whole fam's just sitting on the couch, we're having dinner, we got something on the TV like, you know, My Kitchen Rules, MasterChef, some food drive show, or, you know, some mum or dad show that they put on. But then I'll look up and everyone's just on their phones as well, and it's just like, it's such a weird feeling. It's so dystopian feeling.
Yeah.
Like when
Oh,
you,
sorry.
no, you're right. When you're sitting there, you're on your phone, then you look up because I don't know. There are moments where I just snap back to reality.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, there goes gravity because everyone's off in space, like on their
Ah.
screens and that, and it's
Uh-huh.
it's like what only. I don't know, 50 years ago, everyone was outside playing or
Yeah,
whatever. And now these
yeah.
days, we're just like, screen
zap
here,
the brain.
screen there, screen there. Geordie will have her laptop, like, going as well. And it's just like,
It is a concern. I think when you're completely right, and I see it as a bad thing, something to be concerned of, because we want to do something great in our life, right? Oh, I have a existential crisis. I don't know what I'm here for. And actually, if you have any sort of anguish or depression, anxiety, you're gonna go to the phone because you're trying to escape it. Or on the phone,
oh yeah.
as they have this display of interest program and knows what you've been watching more, it feeds you more of the same thing. So if you're going into the, any negative information or videos, you keep on feeding on that, and that way you can also feed your hormone of stress, your which is a cortisol.
Well, have you heard that analogy with like the white wolf, black wolf, or dark wolf, light wolf, and it's just whatever your stimulus is that you're always
exactly.
bringing in. That's
Yeah.
whichever wolf you're gonna feed, and that
Yeah,
one will
it's the wolf.
grow.
Which the one who's gonna win is the one who feeds the most.
Yeah.
And again, we are so, I call it the zombie mode. If you don't pay attention, I think until you become conscious
No,
of your existence, and like I said, change the focus from the outside to the inside, you're in the zombie mode. And we can also go on a zombie, could be called the zombie mode. This phone thing, because the world is happening.
around you.
I want to be rich. I want to accomplish this and that. I'll just have a check on this. What are you producing?
Do you ever
Yeah.
do you ever wonder or remember back to a time when public transport you were kind of forced to socialise with people because no one would have their heads down and
Yeah.
stuff? These days that's the one good thing about tech, I think. I rejoice in the fact that I can step onto a train and look
And
left
not
to
have
right
to, like-
and nobody's even looked at me yet because they're all looking at their
yeah,
phones.
everyone's
I'm
too
like,
busy.
perfect.
So for you, it's a good thing then, not to have to interact.
Yeah, kind of. I don't like being on my phone all the time. I get annoyed that people can contact me 24/7. That annoys me. Like I just want that. I want it to go back to where someone needs to send me a letter or something like that.
Telegram, like
Yeah, I
send
got
a
a
dove.
bit Yeah. It's like people text me and then it's like you know how you get from different people the expectations text back
Yeah.
quickly because they think you're doing something or you're not doing something, and then you got 3-4 people texting you that are all waiting on you to text back. That annoys me. It takes me out of what I'm doing. I can't multitask talking to people. That's my focus, or I'm focusing on something else.
Yeah, no, I totally understand you. Again, for me, I am very on the extreme other end where I use the phone a lot. It's a sad thing, but again, I'm gonna hit on that same word I said before, which is the balance. Okay, if you don't have enough, things are gonna get complicated because opportunities, a lot of the things, unfortunately, these days are coming to me through Facebook.
No, a lot of my opportunities have come through Facebook as well.
Facebook, and like I don't want to be this guy addicted to it, but if I don't check, I get in trouble. Right?
It's like technology isn't bad, and originally it was created as a tool. It was just when Steve
Yeah.
Jobs came in and just revolutionized the whole
Yeah.
idea of what tech could be, and like, slammed music into it, and slammed the YouTube channel, slammed GPS, slammed, the phone, slammed everything into this the internet into like this compact device that now everyone's. You don't need anything else. All you need is this one little,
Exactly.
technological brick, and you're satisfied.
And we are so addicted to what we get that literally I find myself not being able to watch a one whole video for too long if it's not if it's not good enough.
I'm
Yeah,
already
yeah.
doing
You lose that attention
I'm doing
span.
that to TikToks, and TikToks are like 60 seconds long,
Yeah,
and it's just like
you still can't do it the
my
whole thing.
attention span. I just feel like I'm constantly like,
Yeah,
It's
Oh,
like sitting down for movies nowadays. I end up pausing it so many times and getting up and walking away and
Attention
stuff like
span.
that. It's just like
Gone.
it's like
Gone.
I can't even
what do you want?
Yeah.
focus on just sitting down and just doing something that's just sitting there without some fiddling distraction or something.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. That's so true. These are the things I think we need to be aware of and trying to keep. Wherever the crowd is going, I want to try not to go with it. I want to try.
I can't remember who said it, but it's, paraphrasing along the lines of like, if the crowd is going one way, you can be fairly certain it is wrong.
Yeah.
And to go the other way, because
like I said, I've heard that. That's not my original sentence, but it is exactly that.
yeah.
The crowd is going, and you just when you realize, I've come to these conclusions. Being a human, being a person, that we have so much potential. We have so much potential. You look at a guy driving a Ferrari, a Mercedes, or owning his house on a boat. I sometimes wonder, well, how did he do that? I don't have, thank God, I don't have the envy feeling. I don't know how it is to be envious. When I see people who
It's
has,
a blessing.
it is no. I don't think God. It must be horrible for people to be annoyed because someone else have more. But I do ask the
It was
question:
not.
how did he do it? Because I would like to have it too. What do I have to do? What do I have to do to get something similar? Because I don't want his either.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the guy has fought to have,
Yeah.
I don't want
Let him have.
his.
You
That
want your own.
he deserved it,
Yeah.
right? He deserved it. So I don't want the same thing. I want a similar, maybe if it pleases me enough.
Mm-hmm.
So I come up with these questions, and I've met a lady. She is on her approaching or around the 60 years old. She's an actress, and she is a person who, she told me a few stories about her acting experience. She's been renowned. She's been rewarded. She's been invited to run a lot of things in her time. But then she got divorced, and a lot of things happened in her life. And her name is Mary Curtin, if I'm not wrong. And I could see in her eyes what she's been through, and that taste for her great work she's done. And I said to her, why aren't you going back to it? And she paused, and she started thinking, and also explaining why. But I heard what is an excuses from a comfort zone. And I said to her, you know what I see? I see and I believe we are all diamonds. We're as valid as diamonds. But if it's still buried under the ground, on the dirt, what is it worth? Nothing. In your case, you've been there, you've been brought out, you've been polished by a professional, you are very good, you're very valuable, but you are in a box, a diamond box, on the top of a shell, gathering dust. What is it worth? Nothing. So you need to go back to acting. I said to her, she said, oh, you're so kind, So, but it is the truth. We are all diamonds. And why did I say that? Because you gotta look at you inside of yourself. Like I was saying, this is my prayer now. As I was looking inside yourself, and understand the possibility and your capability, and then you gotta bring that out, because we all like diamonds. We have what I want to say is we have so much value.
Yeah.
And if you dedicate time to your suffering, feeding your suffering, where are you going to go? If you dedicate time escaping from the suffering, now I'm going to be on a phone. What am I producing? The guy drives a Ferrari. Wow, I'd like to have that. How? If you haven't found your value,
Yeah.
your ability to produce something, how are you gonna get to that?
Yeah, and it's
No,
like
that-
stop taking value away from yourself as well.
Yeah,
It is a very good sentiment.
yeah. You gotta look at yourself. We gotta look at ourselves, and again, the more you look inside, the less you worry about the outside. Because as I see my kids, and I see people, we're always concerned about what are they gonna think about me. Who are they? For someone to think about me and make a judgment, I hope they're better than me. And if they're better, that's only because I haven't had the same chance. You know what I mean? You gotta come out of that victim mode.
Yeah.
I'm a victim. Oh, I didn't get the same chance.
Yeah,
Too bad. Now go
it
and
kinda
make
works
your chance.
Both ways, in the sense of like, yeah, stop worrying about like what everyone, you're worrying about like, oh, everyone's gonna, think bad of me, but it's like, and I say this because saying it to myself at the same time in a non-mean way, but it's like,
all have those
who are
feelings.
you to think that you're special enough to have everyone thinking about you? It's like, no one cares. Everyone's
No,
doing their own stuff. Just live your life. Like,
You know,
be free.
exactly. And the other thing is, I must say I've never been too bad at this thinking of, what are they going to think about me? This fear of other people judging. I haven't been too bad with it. Thank God. But I have my percentage of it,
moments,
a
yeah.
little bit of it. But I see my kids, and I try to teach them these things. And one of the things I was teaching is like, who are they to judge you? Are they that better? So hang on, I am concerned because I'm going to be judged by a guy or a woman who do worse than me. Because and I haven't seen no one perfect. I think for you to look down on a person pointing the fingers, you got to be perfect. You got to be much better. And if you're perfect, you're anywhere better, you shouldn't be pointing the fingers and judging, putting the person down. It's the other way around. I can see some of your flaws, and these are the points I think you could work on yourself, right?
No, I hear ya.
But I know there are some people who will make the most of other people's insecurities or weaknesses so they
Yeah.
can feel better.
They
Yeah.
weaponize it, yeah.
They step on it right on your weak spots so they can feel better. And if that's a behavior of someone else, they're worth nothing for me. I'm not interested in them, that kind of people, right? If one thing that we all should be doing here is helping each other.
Definitely.
Helping each other.
I feel like that's a lot of what, I don't know, today's civilization has lost compared to a lot of, past historical, eras and civilizations, is like, they had that community mentality where the village raised the kid,
Yeah.
It wasn't just, two parents like it is these days, or even one, or three, whatever, really. But, yeah, you kind of had that community input. You had every, whereas these days it's just everyone for themselves, survival of the fittest. Everyone's throwing each other under the bus for that
Yeah,
one
it's a
spot, because
huge
there's only
competition.
one spot, but there's millions of people in the sea competing for this only one spot, which
Okay.
half the time they've already picked who they want for the spot,
Here's the thing. I love that you mentioned that, because I actually think a bit the other way around. I don't believe that's only one spot. I think there's opportunities for everyone everywhere. You gotta be, like you
Yeah.
said, you gotta be in the
Well,
right
it's like-
place at the right time.
No, I hear. I feel like what it is you can create the opportunity for yourself, but most people are fighting for the opportunity that society presents as the one opportunity
Yeah.
to make it, where it's like, no, you have the opportunity to go out and do it, so do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
and
yeah,
I got a
get
question
you,
for you.
get
Who is society?
Everyone
It's
else.
this arbitrary
Because I don't-
construct
yeah.
that we have made.
But here's the
Like,
thing. I've got a question for you. When was the last time you dealt with society? Because I can't remember.
Oh man, I
Went
dealt
to
with a
Woolworths
Karen not too
today.
long ago. Like seriously,
Dealt with who? Sorry.
a Karen. You know. Have you heard that term, Karen?
No.
Creeper.
No. I was about to say, who's that?
It's like
It's a stereotype name.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
it's like a woman, like typically a lady who lives in a first world country, very, very, doesn't have a lot of problems in the world compared to many people, but will find anything to tear apart anything, saying that everything is oppression or this is this.
Okay,
And
so as a person who finds a problem
it's
for every
like
solution.
that self-proclaimed activist that will hypocritically do the same thing in their own home without even realizing it because they can do no wrong, right? But everyone else, you are a sinner, go to hell, you know? Whereas the holy thou, which is, they just, I don't understand.
they
Like,
run on
don't
a
wanna
higher
sound-
frequency of being than us, clearly.
Yeah, I don't want to sound up nose and a person that's all about myself. Not at all, no whatsoever. But I've been so focused on myself lately, in these last years, so much that I have no time for these people.
Yeah.
No,
Because
that's
because they
no,
they like
that's
to
a
see
good
it.
thing. That's a good thing. That's not cockiness. That's
No,
confidence.
yeah,
like,
I don't, that's not at all what I want to be or pass on as an image. But again, I think the key thing, like I keep on saying this, you're gonna go to bed with yourself. How do you feel about yourself? Because that other person, if that person is a bitch or whatever, is a hypocritical, that pisses everyone off. If that person goes to bed and sleeps fine, you're in trouble. I want to go to bed and screw that person. I'm sorry the language, but I don't want to. Okay, you come across a toxic people. Maybe they're not bad people, but they're not good for you. All right, so you gotta measure. I cut 2 people from my life a few years ago as friends. I've never done that before, but I started realizing these things I've been telling you, and you can only go so far. And you gotta go, oh, okay,
there's so much you can take.
that kind of person is not good enough in my life. They become heavy. So it's not your job to change them. It's your job to say, I don't want them around me.
Yeah.
You know,
This
No,
lady
she
came
doesn't
out of
say-
nowhere to
came out-
change
yeah,
us,
the thing with Karens is they go out of their way to find
to
like
invade your life.
yeah, like
tell you the story. I had this friend who came. This is the reason why I had enough. She was always heavy. Okay, she's a person. She's a very very good Karen, as you said. As a person who came came to my house once, and we end up talking about politics, and we had 2 different opinions. She was extremely full of energy against me, against my point of view, my opinion,
Yeah.
requesting that I respect her.
Yeah, exactly.
What
yeah.
the hell is
Yeah,
that?
it's like you want that level of understanding, but people don't understand though when you got 2 different, especially when it comes to political views. Like when you got 2 different sides of the fence, you cannot go into an argument expecting to change the other person's mind.
It's not even the change. Imagine this. Okay, you're from the lefties and I'm the right, and I come here to say, and I tell you everything I think. I tell you everything. Someone just said something.
okay.
I will tell you everything I think, and you should understand. You should listen to me, but I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear what you have to say because I don't agree. That's being hypocrite.
Yeah.
That's being disrespectful, to the point where I was in my house and I said, you know what? I'm gonna cook her something, because I had friends around her and another, I think it was her boyfriend at the time, and I had this girl I used to date. I said, I'm just gonna give her something to put in her mouth so she shut up. Literally, I wouldn't even start cooking.
Wow.
And swear to God, I had to go to the bathroom. So I went in from the kitchen, I went to my bedroom, and I shut the door behind me. and I shut the door, the bathroom door, because I didn't want to try my best not to hear she talking. I'm gonna be 100% honest. From the moment I sat in the toilet to have a rest, and I felt like a relief.
That's my
And it wasn't
existence,
because-
like
That's
constantly.
Yeah, it wasn't the number two. It wasn't it. No, it was a different type of the energy. That person's energy, negative, heavy. When I broke up, she knew my girlfriend. She said, "No, she knew it." And I because of that day, I started avoiding her. And she's sending me messages here and there, like, "Yeah, no, I'm not around at the moment. We can catch up some other time." And one day she sent me a message after I broke up. "Oh, I know why you're avoiding me. It's because of such and such." That was like, that was a trigger point for me. I said, "No, let me tell you something. Okay, have you noticed I've been avoiding? That's the truth. To be very honest, the reason why I've been avoiding is because of this and this and this." I listed it, and I said, "I'm really sorry, but I don't think a friendship with you is healthy for me.
Yeah.
It's healthy for me. So I'm really
That's
sorry,
what some
but I
people need
want
to hear.
I'm sorry. I wish you all the best. I don't wish you anything bad towards you or your life, but I want to, let's you
wanna
live
feel
your life.
free.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you live your life and I live mine. Let's cut it off." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And then she started playing the victim. "Oh, okay, that's how you feel about me." Blah 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 blah. Come on, you gotta do that.
Mm.
You gotta do that.
Here you go. This is, I don't know, the iconic Karen. This is the meme of Karen, which is how
Okay.
everyone knows.
Cute too.
I'm sorry, really sorry.
are?
No, it's my
It
fault.
is your fault.
Yeah, I know it's my fault. That's why I'm saying sorry. Eh?
She thinks it's cute that her driver almost hit my kids. And she thinks she needs to take a video of it. Instead of apologizing like a saint.
Swamping in the middle of the road is gonna help?
You being a bitch is gonna help?
I would say.
I don't know, calm down. Calm down.
What is this?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
He
It's
apologized.
It's my fault.
He apologized.
Yeah, I know it's
And
my
you know what? If that didn't upset me, but the bitch ass hoe
Sorry.
that told me to calm down, what I'd like you to do is apologize instead of being a bitch.
You're calling it sorry, but you're calling it bitch. I'll
Oh,
set
sorry.
an example.
I'm sorry. The kids can't hear me calling you a bitch.
Your window's open.
They can't hear me because they're listening to Kids Bop. Attitude
It's
sucks
okay.
dick.
Here's the thing. I find it quite funny. I'm going to tell you guys this. Have you ever thought that there are crazy people around the world? Have you ever thought that some of them may be just our neighbor?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever thought of the levels of psychopath that there are
Yes.
Oh,
in the
yes.
world?
We were talking about this not too long ago, like a
Uh-huh.
couple of days ago, and I was like, "So you know all the different personality types, right?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, we're going through them," and it's just like, there's a lot of psychopaths out there, or people with psychopathic tendencies.
There are levels of
and
it as
traits.
well. Yes, there are levels of it as well, which means that people, when she started making faces,
Yeah.
for me that's not normal.
Yeah.
In a conversation, if I start making faces to you, unless if they are literally expressive to what I'm feeling,
Mm.
okay, but those faces she was
Yeah.
making was a bit
And that-
over
that's
the
not
top
saying
of me.
she's like murderous, psychopathic. That's more just like it's like those. It's almost like those levels of thingo can present themselves in so many different ways, like in social aspects or in conversations and
Yeah.
stuff like that, where
I
you know
feel
that
like it's
there's
such a
clearly-
self-righteous thing though to be able to like, because when you're putting on a face like that, you're mocking half the time to be
Yeah.
like Kids Bop and just like all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, and
I just couldn't imagine having that as a real argument as an adult, like ever in my life.
Yeah.
Like I'd be on the receiving end of someone doing that to me and be like, hey, what do I even say?
What would I do?
I said sorry like 5 times.
all right, now go play in the ball pit. Like,
Yeah, I've had a situation where I was supposed to pick up some people from the airport in New Zealand, and I went, but based on previous experience I had, the plane came late. It took a long time for people to come out of the airport through the customer services. And what I did is, when the guy called me, someone called me and they're like, "Oh, we're here. Where are you?" If I come home, Are you at home? Where do you live? I was like, well, I live about 2.5 hours from where you are. You're supposed to be here. Because such and such said you would be here. I said, look, this is what happens. These are the time the planes land, and this is how long an average it takes. You came out early. I'm going to go right now. I'm leaving my house right now, and I'm on my way. That's not cool. We don't accept blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, listen, just calm down. This is what's happening, and I'm on my way to pick you guys up. Okay. I got 2 more calls on the way. Where are you? We're not supposed to be here waiting for you, blah, 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 blah. When I got to the airport, there was about 4 people. I was supposed to pick 6 people up and bring them back from Auckland to Hastings. And I said, I'm sorry guys, this is what happens. The planes normally land at this time, and it takes so long for people to come through the customer service, and you guys came out early. Oh, but, and they keep on talking and complaining. I said, guys, I apologize. I'm really sorry. I didn't think you guys would come out this early, but I'm sorry. I apologize twice. And they keep on going on. And I lost it. I said, listen to me. I'm going to apologize only once more. As a 3rd time, say I'm sorry. But if you guys are not happy, I can just get my van and turn around. Because I don't give a fuck about you guys. To be honest.
I don't know you.
I don't care. I don't know you.
That's
And you've got to
awesome.
show me some respect. One of the ladies said she was a former... She was had some retired some position as a in the police force. I'm gonna call the police. I said, "Are you gonna call the police? And what you gonna say? That you're coming here to work, and I didn't pick you up on the right time? And by the way, how are you gonna say anything you don't speak English? Right? And I've ever apologized already. What do you want me to do? No, all of you put a finger on their face. What do you want me to do right now? How can I do to make this better for you? Because I can just turn around and get in my van and see you later. You guys just get a cab. Sort yourselves out. They went all quiet. We make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. But I think I'm very soft, I guess. People apologize. No, I know where they are. You know? I don't want the confrontation. But sometimes you got to stand up to people. I was parking near my house once a while ago. Near the Coles supermarket. I have a Ford Ranger 2011. The guy had a Ford Ranger much newer than mine. So here I am reversing. I have no reversing camera. So I was reversing, and as I'm going slowly, trying to check, sticking my head out of the window, the guy, hey, what are you doing? Stop, put the head out of the window. What are you doing? I hit the brakes your way, and I gave him a heart attack. Oh, like shit! I hit the car, and then I came out of the car. Looked, it was about I think I checked. It was about that much of space. I got so nervous at that point. I jumped in the car and went and parked somewhere else. I was like, you know what? I won't accept that. I came up to his window and said, excuse me. Put the window down and said, do you own this car park? I'm sorry? Do you own this car park? No. So why are you telling me off when I'm trying to park here?
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, and he was a 60-year-old man roughly with his whole family in the car. Because I came storming, not rude, not screaming, not swearing at the person, right? But I said, so who do you think you are that you can just stick your head out of your window and ask me what the hell I'm doing? What does it look for you? Do you own? If you tell me you own this space, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. But I don't think you own it because this is public road. You have a better car than me. Is that the problem? You're scared of me bumping into your car? I got insurance. Is that your problem? Oh, I'm sorry. And then he started apologizing. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's like you're not
I said,
sorry.
no. I said, that's not how you treat other people. Why didn't you come out of your car and start guiding me if you're fearful?
If you're so worried.
If you're worried about me bumping into your car. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I said, well, okay. It's okay. You have a good night. I said, you have a good night too. But do that again. And I left because I'm soft. Okay, no problem.
Well, handling things with words is the better way to do it. I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
people are so quick to get on the freaking punch train or get onto violence, and it's like, man, there's so many, we got so much vocabulary that you can sort things out in an infinite amount of ways just by using your words. Like,
I have,
And if you don't know the right
Exactly.
words, learn them. There's so many. Like,
I have this habit of, I have many theories. Oh, throw me a story and I'll tell you the theory I have behind it. Okay? And I strongly believe that the solution for the world is love. You want to see the world change? It's called love.
but this world doesn't even really know what love is anymore.
You know what love is?
It's a lot.
I'm gonna hit the spot again. Learn how to love yourself. When you love yourself, you feel good. When you feel good, you are almost happy. Or sometimes you will not. Most likely will be happy. If I am in a good state, how can I be mean to you? If I
Yeah,
am in a
exactly.
loving state to myself, I want to share it. People are only greedy because they don't love themselves. There's no love in being greedy. There's no love in I want you to do this for me. Here I am, wanting something from the outside to the inside.
mm-hmm.
Okay, it will never be fulfilled anyway. We have these emotions, these part of our personality that needs to be fulfilled, and it is from inside out. It starts there. Imagine if you have a cup of this liquid, love, self-respect, self-pride, and all the stuff. If you don't do your 50%, at least you'll be chasing it outside. Okay?
Mhm.
If you're chasing that outside, you're demanding. And if you're not giving it to me, I'm not happy with you. You're not a good person. Because you only think about yourself. You're not giving me what I want. You know? Doesn't make sense. But if I'm happy, if I'm in a loving state, now these days, I still get mad at sometimes at traffic. But I'm in a stage where I see some people doing stupid stuff. I'm going, let me see what it is. Let me see. Oh, it's an old lady, poor lady. You know what I mean? So, because I'm in a good state. Otherwise, you're selfish. If you don't have enough inside, you are selfish. You're looking for somehow to fulfill that. Why don't you move your car? Don't you know how to drive? Just stay home, so I can have the road on for myself. That's not love.
Yeah.
The love is
It's-
what happens to that person. Why is it? Can't he see it? You know.
Well, I think this sentiment that we've come back around to multiple times now, and I think it's probably a good place to put a
Finish it.
close on
Yeah.
the podcast.
I
Otherwise,
mean,
Since
we
we've
will
revisit-
definitely have you
we-
back on if you're,
No,
if
it's
you're more
gonna
than
be-
willing to
Yeah.
continue
No,
this.
No, this is
that's
conversation.
perfect. No, the topic
This is
wrapped back
fantastic.
around right to where it began again, so that's actually
That's
perfect.
wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you so much from my heart to
Honestly, thank
inviting
you
me
for
and
coming out.
having me
Thank
here.
you. Like,
Thank you for
Yeah.
coming on to this ragtag crap
Sure,
podcast.
yeah.
No, I disagree. It's not crap at all. I think we've been sharing so many good thoughts, so many good ideas, and whoever's gonna ever watch or listen to this will, you never know what people can absorb and say, hey.
Well, the point isn't how shabby it looks. It's the community that you guys create. with
Okay,
it.
guys, here's the thing. Don't worry. This is the beginning. We're
Yeah.
gonna improve this.
Yeah, like we've
It
allowed
can only get
ourselves
better.
a lot of room for error, basically.
Oh yes, no, and that's the way, guys. The only way to know it, to get experience, is doing it.
Yeah.
So yes, thank you so much for having me.
Oh well, let's roll this bad boy out, eh? Get the smoke machine, make it.
Oh, okay.
So now this is when we disappear into the smoke.
Alright, everybody. We'll see you next time, whenever that is, because I'm really inconsistent with editing this stuff, it
Oh,
seems.
beyond.
Alright.
Thank you again, Deividy.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Excellent.
Alright, now you turn that off, and I'm gonna start eating.
Yeah, dude.
Down and be sad on the piece, and I bet you got a boyfriend, but I don't care. I got no